The best way to start the morning.
Yeah, with a beautiful sunrise and a hot pool, like hot springs.
Yeah, so we came here about 20 minutes ago when it was pitch black, and a beautiful sunrise now.
It was tough to come because it was so cold.
I think it was like -6 or maybe more.
Yeah, I don't know, it was really cold, but when you get in, it's good.
Left the hot springs now, getting extra cold once again. It's actually the final day of our 3-day Uyuni tour. It's just a half day today. So that's where the hot spring was back there. Not much around here. I think there's just some guest houses. We're staying at that far one in the corner. So even from there we get great views over the lake. Absolutely beautiful around here. And we actually went in the hot spring at 5 AM. So at 6:30 we've got to have breakfast, and then we'll visit some amazing places around here. So pretty close to the accommodation. We've come to some geysers. Super windy once again. Hopefully you can hear me. Wow, check it out though. So the last time we saw these things was in Iceland.
So we actually saw like a small version of this in Niziros in Greece.
The Volcanic Island.
Yeah, I just remembered now.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't anything like this though. The different angles look cool.
Yeah, and colors too. Like the water gets like gray and green and yellow.
And just like the places that we were in yesterday, this is at 4,200 meters high altitude. Some people asked in the comment if we ever feel sick anymore, and no, we don't. We're kind of just acclimatized now. We've been over 4,000 many times, and also been past 5,000 a few times, so yeah, we just feel normal. Like in the beginning when we were around 3,000, I'd feel out of breath just talking to the camera. Now I'm fine, not out of breath at all. I think there's even more coming out of this one now. Awesome sound. Wow, look at this. Whoa.
Okay.
Hello. Carol, maybe this is cooler than Iceland's.
Yeah, I think it is. Just bubbles all everywhere. Really, really cool.
Whoa. Woohoo!
It's good because it's hot.
Yeah, since it's so freezing, it's like some warm steam. I'll go back in. Oh man. Man, volcanic places are awesome. Check that out for a shot. What the hell? So our next stop is a place called the Salvador Di Desert. Pretty cool, it's like multicolored over there. Rainbow Mountain of Bolivia. This side looks incredible too. So that's been one of the good things about this tour. Over the 3 days we passed through so many different kinds of landscapes, so many different looking deserts. Alright, so this is our last stop of the trip, called Laguna Verde. It actually looks turquoise blue though. It's not green at all. It should be called Laguna Azul. So we're going to be crossing over to Chile now, and we'll probably show the border crossing, because we haven't done a border crossing in years. But if you're not doing the border crossing, the tour would usually continue. I think you see some colonial towns, things like that, on your way back to Uyuni. So this is the border on the Bolivia side. Probably can't film further down there, so I'll just film from here. We just got to take our passports and scan a QR code.
Yeah, with our phone.
With our phones. When was the last time we crossed a land border?
Maybe Thailand?
Before the pandemic.
Yeah, a long time ago.
So that place that we were at before was the Bolivian customs. So it was all online. You just did a QR code, fill in your details, say where you're going, stuff like that. Yeah, it was pretty quick. And this is the proper passport control place.
It's the immigration area, and I think we only have to give the passport, and we have to pay a fee of 15 Bolivianos. From what I read online, that's not an official fee to pay. You shouldn't have to pay anything, but that's how things work here, so we have to pay that anyway.
Yeah, I think every land border that we've crossed always has some deal like that, where you're paying a fee and then you look online and it says that you shouldn't, but it's not exactly much anyway. And now there's these big vans waiting, so these are one of the vans that are going to take us to Chile, and we paid for that before we did the tour.
Yeah, we paid 100 Bolivianos to do the crossing, and the van's gonna leave us in San Pedro de Atacama, which is the place that we are going next in Chile.
Pretty cool border though, the desert border with volcanoes. I think that's a volcano there, the one that I mentioned a few videos ago, that's on the border with Chile and Bolivia. Not bad. Alright, so we have arrived in San Pedro de Atacama.
So the border crossing was a bit chaotic, as always. The Bolivian side was a lot going on and some issues with people in our group.
Splitting up the groups in separate vans.
Yeah, so. And people don't have internet, and then one guy had to pay extra for the bus because he didn't have a ticket. It was a bit of a chaotic experience. But on the Chile side, it was a lot easier and faster.
Yeah, and on the Chile side, you don't have to pay anything on the immigration. So I think this is one of the main walking streets around here, just full of stores. Loads of tourists here, so completely different to Uyuni town. Definitely looks like a desert town too. So it's about a 12-minute walk to the Airbnb that we booked. So we're just gonna walk there. The weather's pretty nice here. It's not cold anymore. We've come down to about 3,000 meters. I thought it was gonna be pretty cold here, but it feels like 22 degrees. Just perfect t-shirt weather. And we'll show this place better in the next videos. We're pretty tired now from the last 3 days of touring. Really like what I'm seeing though. It kind of reminds me of the desert places that we went to in Mexico. Baja California Sur. I like how everything's this adobe style. Seems like pretty much all the buildings. I like that. Some nice colourful ones too. So it's looking good. Also very green. Lots of trees everywhere. Yeah, this building looks cool here. Made out of rocks. Alright, so I think this is us, number 15. Definitely not in the tourist part now. There's kind of like farmland and stuff here. So it turns out it wasn't too complicated to check in. The owner here, or the lady that manages the place, heard us talking and opened up the door. So this place is $61 a night, an apartment. So we're probably going to be doing our own cooking. We usually do that when we travel. We don't stay that much in hotels. Pretty nice and calm around here. I think there's a few different apartments. And that's a good deal for here. If we stayed more in the center, I think we'd be paying over 100. Chile is one of the strongest economies in South America, one of the richest countries. So yeah, it's going to be a contrast to Bolivia, which I think is one of the poorest in South America. And everything there was quite affordable. But $61 is definitely great for what we're getting. Nice bathroom. Looks quite new, the place too. Dining area, the kitchen that I just showed. And we've got 3 beds. We can join one of them to be a double bed. Exhausted?
Yeah, I'm very, very tired. I need to take a good shower, I need to eat well and rest.
Yeah, we need to clean our clothes. I mean, look at this, we're like covered in dust. Although by the looks of it, we're gonna be covered in dust pretty much every day here. Even walking around now, when the cars pass by, you just get covered in dust straight away. But yeah, that's desert life, right? It was also pretty interesting, the contrast of when we crossed the border, because if you saw the last 3 days of doing the tours, I mentioned that there's no real roads, right? It was all like completely off-road. And then when we crossed the border, it was like a proper highway road all of a sudden. So yeah, I think here's going to be more developed. Although that's not exactly a negative thing on the Bolivia side. I think that added to the adventure of the last 3 days, like being off-road the whole time. So yeah, not exactly a negative. Anyway, this is going to start the chapter of our travels here in Chile. We're going to be doing quite a few things here. If you like this video, just drop a like to support us. Subscribe to see more videos like this. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and we'll see you in the next one.